All right, we are back. Whatever. Got Streamlabs trying to update on me just as we go live. Cool. Thanks. Wicked helpful. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Let me just I'm gonna double check my audio's working okay. All right. We're getting the faint hum of the space heater. You're getting the full experience of being here in the workshop with Perry tonight. That's right. It's the holiday season. That's toy making season if ever there was one. And for me, it's always kind of toy making season. We got a lot of stuff to look at here. A lot of really cool stuff. I got us zoomed in on the old workbench here. I'm trying out another webcam. I keep flipping between cameras. This one, if you put hands in front of it, it seems to focus on them pretty good. I'm not sure about other items. I'm still kind of waiting to see like how its focus is. Yeah, okay, all right. About that distance seems pretty good. All right, that's promising. That's really good because I'm going to be painting about right here, and I can move this camera with me. Yeah, we got a lot of control tonight. I'm psyched. This is going to be a good one. A part of me wants to wait till some more folks roll in before we really get moving because I'm going to end up repeating myself showing things a bunch of times, but that doesn't really bother me. All right, so kicking things off, I kind of want to show a bunch of the parts that I've been working on. I kind of have them assembled. I meant to take them all apart and kind of, slap everything together on camera. The first, so hey, Adam NX67, welcome, bud. We know I've been working on recreating some of the parts from this 1991 Bigfoot Hot Wheels Champions series. We modeled some tires to look like these slightly smaller tires, and I am really happy with the result. They're really, really close in size, look really good, and you're going to see it in a second when I when I assemble our other one to kind of show how they work together. But you'll recall I had this body off of a modern Hot Wheels Bigfoot, and I'm really stoked with what I've been able to create here. Hang on, I'm getting messages. All right. Let's see. Never understood why they made the regular tires smaller. I didn't either. I will admit, though, it actually looks more sort of to scale. Like it kind of looks more accurate than the larger tires did. When you do the comparison there. I guess I might as well jump ahead. I will say I was modeling replacement tires for these because I didn't have 4 to complete a truck, and the end result is really great, and it totally fit on. And once we get that painted up, I think for sitting on a shelf, you'll never know it wasn't part of the set. Really pleased with that. I know it's glowing kind of bright and white on the camera there. Not much for me to do about that. I can try to ease some of the light off it, but yeah, that's sort of a hint of what we're working on today. So again, we had this guy, and I wanted some that would look sort of like it, and that's where the Bigfoot Power Wheels truck came in. And for that, I modeled up this chassis that has a little driver. We filled in the back to emulate a tonneau cover, and in the front where there's this body peg, we have a little engine, and we did sort of match the chassis design with those the little shocks and things there. And I'll put it together bit by bit here. So the body raise the camera up just a hair. The body does in fact just kind of sit right on it really nicely. It fills up the back, which emulates the tonneau cover that the trucks ran at that time. And if you look very carefully, you can see the driver through the window there. You can see the engine on the side. Really, really nice. So that came out great. Now to put tires on here, I bought some very cheap aluminum rod stock and just cut the pieces down with I think I just used like a pair of wire clippers. These do fit very nicely in those tires that we modeled up. Just a nice little, slides off, but we're going to glue it together. So happy with that. And that slides right through. And another one will fit right on the other side. And it's starting to come together. Like, I'm really pleased with this. The details in this are really nice, and I think as we paint it and we get some darker colors on here, you'll be able to see it a little bit more. The white of the 3D print resin is a little bit much. But the end result is a really nice free-rolling truck that, truth be told, very well scaled to that series. Like, really, really nice. Hey, Rye! Welcome aboard! Yeah, so the 3D printed parts for this came out awesome, and we are going to glue that up eventually. I want to keep it apart for now while we're painting, because it's going to be a little bit easier to paint while it's able to be taken apart. So between that and the replacement tire on this guy, we had some big wins. But we didn't stop there. I had this Samson body, also from the same series as the modern day Hot Wheels monster trucks. Just trying to I have it assembled already in the truck that it's on, and I'm trying to get it to give the body up because it is a really nice snug fit. There we go. So we had this body, the Samson body. And to go with it, we have basically the same chassis, but with the small addition of some little roll bars. I like the way they looked a little bit better. I thought the blank space under this hood was a little awkward. Minimus umbram. Eric sucks. Ooh, oh snap, Eric Bador's raiding. Holy crap, raiding on the 3D print stream. Hey, thanks, Eric. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm recreating some of this 1991 Bigfoot Hot Wheels series, and by stripping the bodies off of modern day trucks so that I can add 3D printed chassis to kind of recreate what I had as a kid. And that's what I've created here, and you can see the scale's pretty good. I also made a replacement tire. I was missing one off of this other truck from the series. Big Perry fan. Oh yeah, Bear Doctor, what's up? Oh man, huge crew rolling in. The Rat crew is live. But the chassis I developed to go under here, I bothered to put in a little driver and little roll bars, and I'm really happy with the way it works. It does. I took this body off of a modern Hot Wheels monster truck, and it literally just pops together, which is so nice. And while these tires are cool, I didn't love the look of them. They're a little small for my liking. They're to scale with that part of the series, but I wanted something a little bit more substantial. And that's what I have here. This sort of splits the difference between the old Matchbox Super Chargers and the Hot Wheels trucks. Again, I just have some cheap aluminum rod stock that I bought. Let's see, do I have Gravedigger? Yeah, oh hell yeah, I got tons of Gravediggers. This is one that I 3D modeled a while back and put a modern Gravedigger body on. A whole 3D printed body with rear engine, just like the real truck. Little driver in there. But yeah, so these this ends up getting assembled real easy. where it all just kind of fits together like that. Mini Muffin remembers seeing these as a kid. Yo, I totally remember seeing these as a kid. Immediately so excited. Thank you for showing. Oh, man. I'm so glad. Gravedigger's a classic. One of the all-time best. But once this Samson gets all put together, the look is really nice. Like, this feels like a truck I would have had as a kid. And I'm really excited to get some paint on these parts and get this whole thing coming together. But I didn't stop there. Regular viewers of the stream will know, and I'm going to grab an example here because I've got boxes of monster truck toys down here. Regular viewers will know that my all-time favorite toy series... Sorry to interrupt. No worries. Wait. Who was the one with the cute dog ears? Oh, that was a Monster Mutt. Regular viewers will know that my favorite series from when I was a kid were the Matchbox Super Chargers. They had this great, goofy, like balloony tire look, like just a great series. And I wanted to do something with that. So I literally just walked into Walmart and bought the cheapest, crappy, generic-looking Hot Wheels scale car that I could get. And I took it off the toy that it came on, that was a regular truck, and it was this Bronco. And I made the same sort of chassis that I have for these other ones, but then I modeled up these replica tires. And they are really kind of spot on to that other series. And when this gets put together, oh, this is the look that I'm dying for. Like, this is 100% my jam. It looks so 1980s. It doesn't look like the modern toys at all with the giant tires and stuff. Like, this one looks like it would have been on a toy shelf in the 80s. Like, what a perfect look. And again, all 3D printed stuff that I modeled up myself. Hey, Cody Brooks in the chat. I didn't see you. You flipped by so quick. I saw Owen Brody's in the chat. All right. We got a great crew here tonight. But yeah, I'm really happy with how all these have turned out, but it's not fully made by me, right? Like, I took this body from a toy, I took that body from a toy, that body from a toy. So I had to go the next step, and I printed my own sort of Bronco body. It's a little bit, you'll see it's a little bit longer, a little bit bigger than this one. But I wanted one where you could see through the windows and see into a chassis so that we could see all the parts. And that's what we've done here. And I believe if I pull this off of here, this chassis is going to need a little adjusting before everything fits correctly. But this should kind of just sit right down in there. And we're going to fit that to a slightly bigger frame with bigger tires because the body is pretty big. But I do have another style of tire. These are meant to look like this part of the Bigfoot series that sort of have this like Lego kind of vibe to them. And that's kind of what I have here. And I think it's a pretty faithful recreation. Thank you, Owen. Yeah, I've been trying, you know. I've got all kinds of projects I'm working on. I've got my my Perry Play School Little People monster truck that's in the works. With a little engine, little roll bars. You know, I've got my my wind up Perry that's coming along pretty good. You know, these are all just 3D designs I'm working on. All of it will eventually be at the merch table. Ooh, Dr. Ryan asking which monster truck has the most Christmas spirit. Oh, man. That's a great question, and something I've never really thought about. I mean, to me, I feel like it might be Bigfoot, right? Like, Bigfoot. Oh, hey, thank you. I feel like it's Bigfoot, but that's just because I always wanted Bigfoot toys as a kid. There's also like Awesome Kong was red. Red sort of feels very Christmas. I don't know, boy. I don't think any of them really have a ton of Christmas spirit. Wow, not any that's inherently in them anyhow. All right, but like I said, we got to do a little bit of customization because these two parts got to go together. And I had initially designed this before I updated this chassis and didn't think about it before I ran them off the printer. For those curious, these are resin prints. My resin printer prints in 8K resolution, which is incredibly detailed. That's why you don't see any like ugly layer lines or anything on here. When I have printed with filament, like this gravedigger that I made, you can sort of see some weird artifacting and weird shapes in the prints, and that's just filament prints. That's just how that happens. All right, so we do have to customize this one a little bit if it's going to work, and anyone wearing headphones, I gotta warn you, I'm about to break out the Dremel. So it's about to sound wildly unpleasant in here. But it'll only take a minute. Basically, I have these little standoffs that I printed in here to stand it on the chassis. This one on the front now interferes with the roll bars that are here. These little front roll bars. So I gotta take that off. And I could sit here and chip at it with some clippers or something. But it's never going to be as fast as using a Dremel. So warning for anyone with the old headphones. It's about to sound like a dentist's office. So fair warning. That's not so bad. It could have been a lot worse. Let's see. Are we making enough progress there? All right. I'm breaking off the cutoff wheel for it. Which is dangerous to do on camera because one wrong move and the cutoff wheel explodes and the pieces go flying. Hey, you guys could see a real exciting Twitch stream here. You never know. All right, grab what we need here. Need a cutoff disc. Am I out of cutoff discs? That would be unfortunate. Yeah, I guess I am going to have to go at this thing with clippers. Never mind, I don't get to use the power tools. You all escaped the power tool sounds. Let's see. I'm looking in at the chat here to see if we have any. It's like ASMR to me. Hey, I've been told that my toy making streams are sort of like if Bob Ross was making toys, and holy crap, I'll take that. That's what a compliment, right? All right, so yeah, I'm gonna get in here and kind of just hack at this and see what we can do. Yeah, it's hard because it's a thick piece and I don't want to break anything. Oh, nice. That couldn't have gone better. Because I'm cutting this thick standoff here. I don't even know if that'll show on camera. But right in front of it, very thin, is the grill on this body. So I really don't want to snap that. Oh, perfect. Yes. Dangerous. Watch out, everybody. Watch out now. Well, we may have done a little damage to it. I got to be real careful there. We're kind of... The body's trying to snap. Yeah, that might be enough. All right, we're gonna see if that's enough. See if it'll squeeze on here now. It's a very tight fit. I made it a tight fit on purpose. You know, once this goes on, I really don't want it coming off. Oh, I think that's gonna do it. Oh, hell yeah. Yep. Just gonna have to really press on it. Oh, maybe it'll do it. I may have to literally take a hammer to this, and I'm terrified to do that on stream and break the nice piece. That's right, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents that destroy what I've printed. It's okay, though. They use almost no plastic to make, and that's kind of one of the really nice parts. All right. Who's ready to watch me undo a lot of hard work? Oh, yeah, that did it. That got us far enough back. Is there enough leeway in there now? It should go in. Oh yeah, it does have to go back just a little bit more. I don't want to hit against something to kind of... Yeah, screw it. Now what's crazy is I'm going to have to take this back out at some point if I'm going to paint it, so... Yeah, that's just about got it there. What am I bumping on? Something's getting hung up on it. Well, you know, it's close enough to give us the idea. Alright, so now that we've done that, now that we've got body on chassis, wonky as it is, it's there. Now we gotta cut some axles. And again, this is just cheap aluminum rod I picked up online. Yeah, I think I paid $8 for, you know, what essentially amounts to a few feet of this stuff. And each of these only uses like 1 1/4 inches. Like it really doesn't use much at all. Alright, let's see. Wow, goes in that far, huh? Alright, well. Now this is interesting. We will get to use a power tool here. So right now, I don't know if it'll show on camera, this hole does not go all the way through, and sometimes that happens where a little bit of uncured resin gets stuck inside there, and when this runs through the curing box, we've just filled up the hole with solid plastic. Not ideal, but easily fixed with a drill. And I've already got the bit on here that's the right size for these axle holes, so yeah, that's all it took. You should be able to see now that, yeah, there it is. You can see that it goes right through. Alright, that'll do. Yeah, I'm so glad so many of you are hanging out and enjoying the stream. Really psyched on that, you know. I have my usual crew that are always here. I know Cody was in the house. Adam NX67 was in the house. Rye was in the house. We got a bunch of the regulars who are my old reliable, my pals. But I'm happy to see a crew come in from Eric's channel. That was really, what a cool surprise. I was just in there watching Eric's stream right before I went live. I was watching it was Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy, and one of the clowns having what was like an Extreme Rules match. So I was there. I was I was in the room. All right. Is this still not all the way through? Let's go. There we go. All right. Wow, yeah. So right now I'm just sizing where I need to make the cut on this. And now you'll see I am using a very old pair of wire cutters. These are, I lost all my money on the clown. Oh no! You lost all your channel points. Yeah, I hope you become a regular too. I do a lot of fun stuff on stream. Sometimes I'm doing toy making, and sometimes you'll see me doing the actual 3D design on the computer. I stream that as well. And I like to use tools that everyone can use. I use a program called Tinkercad, which is a free web browser-based 3D design tool, and super fast to learn. It's actually made for teaching little kids about 3D modeling. So it's a tool that's used in like elementary schools. But using it, I was able to make, I mean, all of these. Yeah, this is, oh man, this thing's going to be massive. I mean, I guess it's fitting. It is a monster truck, but... Alright, let me get a quick size up on this so I can cut another axle. There we go. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Christmas Eve. When I finish up here, me and the wife are watching Home Alone 2. It's our tradition every year. On the 22nd, we watch Home Alone. On the 23rd, we watch Home Alone 2. And then on Christmas Eve, we watch The Muppet Christmas Carol because, after all, there's only one more sleep till Christmas. Just feels right. All right. Now I can pull all of these tires in here and we can we can size this up and see what we're working with here. I'm pretty psyched on this. Now I do think some of this might need to be reprinted. The fits aren't quite what I want, but man, oh man, that turned out looking pretty sick. And yeah, free rolls just like it should. And you can see what I was saying about there's going to be a noticeable size difference, as there should be, between the Matchbox Super Chargers style junk truck and this slicker Hot Wheels Champions truck. Man, that came out real. I'm looking at them on camera. That came out great. They're the same height, the same ride height. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little refining on this. I don't think I'm gonna be painting this one tonight because in the process of removing some of the standoffs and a few other things, there was a little bit of damage done to it. And being that this is probably, I mean, not counting the tires, this is probably $1.25 in plastic. Really not so bad. All right, hang on. I'm leaning in so I can. It's Valiant Vanner. Okay, I'm leaning in and getting everyone's names as you come across on the chat. I'm so glad. Like, I'm really happy with these. You know, when I got my 3D printer, the first thing I did was start designing monster truck toys. My very first 3D printer was a filament printer. These are all resin prints, which are much, much cleaner and crisper. Like, really, really, you can see every little detail of every nook and cranny of these designs. But the early ones I had, the filament printers, you can sort of see a lot of the troubles that I had. But this, I didn't have to make axles or do any assembling. The axles are plastic, and they printed inside of the chassis as one piece. It came off the printer already rolling. And I'm so, yeah, it was really great. My printer, the first printer I had was $100. My second printer was also $100. And these little trucks, when I put my little body on them, I made a little truck body that has me coming out the window and has my initials on the hood. And I would sell these at shows when I'm wrestling. For those who don't know me, I know a lot of you are new. I am the human monster truck Perry Von Vicious professional wrestler. I am currently the Pro Wrestling Grind Grand Champion, the Blitzkrieg Pro Jensen Champion, and the RPM Fest Pro Wrestling Grind Best of the Fest 2025 Champion. Going on 18 years in the business. I would sell these at the merch table for $20 a piece. Right? $20 a piece for a custom-made monster truck toy that really rolls and everything. Not a bad price. I couldn't keep them in stock. They sold so fast. I paid off both of my printers and bought 2 additional printers within the first year. Honestly, one of the best things to ever happen to me. I do also have, none of them are down here, I do have Perry Von Vicious action figures I sell at shows. I've made figures for other wrestlers. You know, it's been a really fun thing. It came out of when the world shut down. My wife just bought me a printer. I had no background in 3D design, no background in toy making, but she kind of said, like, I feel like you'd be good at this. And within 48 hours of opening the present under the tree, I had my first monster truck prototype printing. And I do have other projects that are coming. I've been working on some tank tread designs so I can have monster tanks. All kinds of stuff. I have an alternate chassis style that has dually tires where it looks like 2 tractor tires stuck together. That's a very old school monster truck look. And I've done a lot of replica making. This is my replica Toxic Crusader from the Playmates series. That's all hand painted, designed and printed by me from old pictures of the toy. Didn't expect to be watching a pro wrestler making toys. That's right, it's Santa's workshop tonight. It's the perfect time. And I have had different iterations of my truck. This was when the Barbie movie came out and was popular. This is Perry's dream car, a 57 Chevy with me coming out the top. Yeah, a lot of different fun designs. The regulars on the stream have seen this stuff so much. I'm back. My phone died. Oh no. Well, you didn't miss much. All right. So what I want to get working on right now, I need to do some painting on these parts. And honestly, it's a little bit hard for me to pick which ones first. Like, I feel like I can save all the tires because they're just going to be black. I can stick them on a pegboard, take them out, and hit them with a spray can probably. I kind of want to paint some of the chassis. Those are going to take a little while to dry. And really, I'm going to focus primarily on these trucks right here. And this is where I have to make some decisions about color, right? I want these to blend in and fit with this old style. So that gives me a lot of decisions to make. With the Bigfoot Hot Wheels 1991 Bigfoot Champions series, the chassis were like this dull gray, right? And it looks cool. Like it's very, very toy. Like very toyetic is the term that I hear people use. But I also love on the old Matchbox Super Chargers that it's chromed. I always thought that was really cool. So I kind of think this guy is meant to emulate this style. I think this one gets the chrome chassis and probably the chrome rims. And then I think these ones, kind of hard to say. Like I could go chrome, I could go gray. It's a hard choice. I also want them to match the bodies that they're getting, you know? So like this Samson body, like what color is going to look good with that? This Bigfoot Power Wheels for those who watched Monster Trucks in the mid 90s. For those who watch Monster Trucks in the mid 90s, the Penda Points series that aired on Truck and Tractor Power on TNN. This truck was a common truck along with the classic striped Bigfoot, and a part of me thinks this one should have been part of that toy series. In real life, its chassis for that truck was all painted black. If it was part of that series, I think it probably would have still been gray. I don't think they would have made the chassis a different color. So I almost think we should stick with that. But because we have an interior to paint, we can also, there's a little engine here. Let's see, yeah, a little engine there. We can chrome that up for sure. I think the hubs probably stay white. White hubs were real big on Bigfoot at that time. That truck reminds me of Colorado. Yeah, no, I see it. So I think we're probably going to start there, which means I have to start doing some disassembly here, stacking a bunch of tires out of the way. You can imagine, my wife bought me the first 3D printer, and now the house is just full of monster truck toy parts all the time, scattered everywhere. In fact, at this point, the whole basement is basically my domain. I've got the 3D print workshop behind me, the painting shop here. I've got a green screen studio over there for wrestling promos, and on the far back end, I've got my home gym. So it's a whole mess that I've basically taken over a big part of the house. So this one's going to be the Bigfoot Power Wheels chassis. I'm going to keep those two together so I know what the hell I'm painting. Samson here. I'm going to lose the tires. Now this one was a compromise for me. The Samson from that same era that these toys are from was red, white, and blue, very styled after the American Gladiators. Yeah, man cave to the max for sure. And this was a slightly later style, but this was the only one I could find in the store on the modern series. They did some throwback trucks, and they did make the other kind, but I never managed to get a hold of it. This has been an ongoing project of mine where whenever they release an old throwback body on the modern trucks, I have to find them so that I can rip them apart and make them old school again. When they sell this, it has a whole tube frame and those very modern tires. Not my style at all. So this is going to be the Samson chassis, and then that leaves the one I like best. Honestly, my favorite of the whole series. Like, I have these fancy monster truck bodies that look like ones from my childhood, but then the old junker, the square body, is so sick looking. I love the short wheelbase. Like, just a great look. And I'm real happy with my my tire choices, the styles that I decided to put together, because it just reads right. Like, it feels right. That's something, my adventures in toy making here, one of the hardest things for me to really get a grasp on has been understanding that no matter how it looks when you design it, no matter how it looks in your mind, the end result and how they read will always be its own thing. How the pieces fit together, how they all look like sitting on a shelf. I got drove to school in that for 14 years. Oh, man. There's some great, and look at that, how perfect of it. Now, this one I kept real simple, right? There's no driver, there's no nothing in there. But that's because this body on the inside was real simple and plain. It just has some little pegs that I had to have slots to line up. So the whole thing just, boop, pops together. Really, really nice. These cheap Walmart toys are this Adventure Force brand. I bought this one. This one's going to become a monster truck too. Just an old standard. I think it's like a Chevy S10. But yeah, I've always got a small pile of die-cast bodies that I'm going to change over. My obsession is specifically number 42 from Petty Motors. Oh, man. But only toy cars released from 96 to... Oh, you were speaking my language. This kind of specificity in toy collecting is huge for me. It's one of the things, you know, I'm always very mindful because I have a lot of this stuff. I mean, I've literally got crates of monster truck toys, mostly because fans have gifted them to me. I mean, if I turn this camera around, I've got my old RC Clodbuster covered with a bunch of monster truck toys right there. Let's see. That is literally just flats full of monster truck toys. And then back there, you can kind of see Gravedigger right there on the tip of the finger. That's a whole, like, shelf full of them back by the 3D printers. So there's a lot of them, and it's mostly because fans keep gifting them to me. Like, I don't really buy my own unless it's for parts. So, hey, getting some subs coming in. Thank you, Mini Muffin and Valiant Vanner. Thank you so much. Oh, we got a hype train going. Oh man, I never get a hype train going. Let's go. Of course, it's the one night that I have the scene in my my Streamlabs that doesn't have the alerts. Apologies, no alerts, you guys. I would have loved to have seen those go off. But I haven't done a workshop stream in a little while because I've been designing these up. I tend to stream 3 days a week. I'm gaming Mondays and Tuesdays usually. Last night I actually did a watch along of a bunch of my matches. And then Wednesdays is like my workshop Wednesdays. It's toy making, whether it's designing on the computer, painting down here. You know, sometimes I've done sculpting with clay on stream before. So I appreciate you guys subscribing. I hope you enjoy it. Also, be sure to, I'm sure Nightbot will pop up and say it, but definitely check me out on YouTube there too. I also have vlogs from my travels for wrestling. I get out all over the place. I travel with some of the best wrestlers in the world. So yeah, by all means, follow me. I am everywhere you want to be. I'm easy to find. I'm Perry Von Vicious everywhere. So I look forward to seeing you all around, seeing you here. But for now, we got to start painting these up. And I think the easiest one to do is going to be the Blazer. So we're going to start there because I wanna just chrome that one out. That one's just got to get chromed out so that it looks like the old Matchbox Super Chargers that had the chrome chassis. And for that, I have a very special tool. This is something that I wanted for a long time. Finally bought it a while back. Everyone growing up making models had like silver paint, right? And I've had so many different kinds of silver paints. I've had silver spray paints, gold spray paints. I've had paint pens, the little model paints, all kinds of stuff. Even some Gundam markers that I got while I was wrestling in Japan. But it wasn't until just this last year that I bought the creme de la creme for faux chrome. It is the liquid chrome pen. This thing is unreal with the results. The big trick is you need a smooth surface that it goes on if you really want like a mirror finish. And thankfully, 3D prints on a resin printer are very, very smooth. There's like no layer lines on here. I think this is going to look really good. Now, some people will tell you that for a good chrome finish, you want to paint it black and then put the chrome over the top. Yeah, That can yield better results, but not necessarily. It's not, you don't have to do that by any means. All right. So let's see. One of these sides is a very small fine tip, which of course is the one I went for, which is not what I need, but it's, very fine tip, like a pen. I've used that for detailing my own action figures when I'm painting my wrestling gear. My figures are the same scale as the old Hasbros. Anybody who wants to see them, you can get a look at those on my my Instagram or buried somewhere on my Twitter page. Or on my YouTube. There's videos of me painting them. You can check those out. This is the big fat end. This is what we really want. Trying to get more money off you by selling more paint. If only I was selling these. If I was selling these, I'd make a lot more money than selling my own toys. And it'd take a lot less time. I don't have to make these. All right, so I do want to paint this, but I don't want to hold it while I'm doing it. Do I have my hands-free clamp gimmick? Yeah. This, if you're a toy maker, if you're a model maker, I cannot recommend enough a good set of surgical clamps. These things look like scissors, but on the end, they've got the little clamps, and then down here, they click together, and then they hold. The best. The new brand, Sweeping Hobbyists, Perry Paint. All right, so I'm going to grab just by the front here, and just one click together ought to do it. And now it's hands-free. So I don't have to touch anything I paint. That's really, really important. These I get these for like $1 a piece at flea markets, of all things. Like I've never bought a pair of these new. Probably got 7 or 8 of them kicking around here. That's the other thing. Apart from this, I don't spend money on anything for painting. I get my paints from the Dollar Tree or like Walmart. They're just cheap plain old acrylics that you see everywhere, the craft paint. I don't need anything fancier than that, But for this, I splurged. I treated myself for the $8 for a liquid chrome pen. All right, I'm going to try to get this to where we can see it go on here. Because it really is. Let's see how well it'll focus on that. I know, ooh, okay, yeah. Oh, there it is. Look at that shine. Oh, man. Haha, the camera caught it. I was sure we wouldn't really be able to tell. But, yeah. These liquid chrome pens are no joke. Part of the way they work is that the paint is incredibly thin, which allows it to run into every little nook and cranny and not create its own texture. And that flat surface that it ends up creating is what mimics sort of a metal. Look at that. That looks like I put like foil tape on there or something. Man, oh man, this is going to look great. I'm so psyched. That's for those who are new to the channel, which at this point is the majority of folks in here. The regular viewers will tell you, I get really enthusiastic about my own stuff working. Because I never, maybe it's a lack of confidence, but I never think stuff's going to be as good as it is. But yeah, if you're a fan of professional wrestling, if you're a fan of monster trucks, if you like Disney parks and Weird Al Yankovic, you'll have a great time following me. So those are just a handful of the things that people kind of agree define me as a human. Lord have mercy. She is shiny. Oh yeah. This is gonna work. You guys, let's go. I noticed all the new folks came in and got real talkative, and all my regulars got quiet. I wonder who's still around. I know Owen Brody was in for a bit. I know Cody was here, Adam NX67. I saw Rye. There was a deluge from Eric's channel, and I couldn't see who all was in there because my screen is kind of far from me, and I may be a pro wrestler, but I'm not that young, so the old eyes don't read too well from that far away. I have a poster of Weird Al on my wall. Hell yeah! I have an autographed picture that I keep on the wall in my office upstairs. I've shown it on stream before. It was when I was 14 and had no friends. I was a pudgy little nerd with no friends. I mean, I'm still a pudgy nerd. I'm just big now. When I was just a great big nerd in a world before you could really make a ton of friends on the internet because it was 1999. I was a huge Weird Al fan, and I wrote him a fan letter. I am a wrestler. I am the human monster truck. Perry Von Vicious is not just a screen name. I keep my autographed Al picture up there because I wrote him a fan letter, and he sent me an autographed picture. Some of these little bits here. I'm gonna have to go to a backup technique I have. The paint pen's having trouble getting in. Let me see if I can get it on camera. In between some of the little details there. Oh man, this is looking good. Weird Al loved his hoots. He's a hoot. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go to a backup technique that I use here, where I find a brush that I don't really much care for, like this one. Some of the brushes are not as good as others. These also all the brushes I get in giant multi-packs at the Dollar Tree. Like, I don't buy fancy brushes. Yeah, what I'm going to do, exactly like you're saying, Bear Doctor, is I'm going to go in and kind of dab this so that it puts a little pool of the stuff, and then I'm going to move it around with that brush. And some of this you'll be able to see, some of it not as much. Let's see, I'm going to try to keep moving us around so that we can see what's happening, but, you know, it's tricky business. Yeah, that's pooling up. All right, cool. And then I can take this brush and just kind of get in here and get the coverage that I want. Yeah, that's doing it. Hell yeah. Now, typically I stick with those cheap craft acrylics, and they're water-based, which makes cleanup of brushes really easy, like spectacularly easy. I just wish them around in some water and wipe them off on a paper towel, and we're good to go. This is an alcohol-based paint, so I do not have that same luxury, I'm afraid. Yeah, and all that dabbing's got the end of the pen really filled up there. Now, this may end up being the kind of thing where, like, I let this sit for a night or two, and then I come back and fill in. That's one of the other things. This chrome paint, really slow to cure. Really slow. Wow. Wow, the shine on that is crazy. Let's see if we can, look at that. Holy crap, that looks good. It's a very slow cure process. And not just because it's freezing here and that it'll be curing in the basement, which doesn't help it, but because of the type of paint, even in the summer, like if I put this out in direct sun, it's going to take a couple days for it to be like good and cured, you know? Let's see. Yeah, some Gundam people do use airbrushes. I have an airbrush set up, and I like it. It's a whole, you got to commit to setting up for it, you know? Yeah, it does. It looks like I wrapped it in tinfoil. Like, I honestly, like, this is probably the best use I've had of this. I've not really been able to dive in using this quite this much. A lot of the projects I've used it on have been little bits of chrome here and there. I used it, I got a flexible resin to make a little championship belt to go with my action figure when I won the Grind Grand Championship here in Western Massachusetts, and wanted to be able to sell a toy of the belt. So I raised the design on the belt a little and then just used this to sort of dab around on the raised parts. Beautiful end product. Yeah, I think I sold them all. Otherwise, I would show it to you. But I want to get a comparison here. So I have the chassis that I ripped one of these other toys off of. This is an actual chromed plastic chassis from like a Hot Wheels. And when we compare, like, there we go. That's a reasonable comparison. Like, that's not far off. Like, I am exceedingly happy with how this is working. And it's slow going, I'll admit. This is it's a whole process, and there's going to be some areas that I probably can't get to on this pass, and I'm going to have to let it dry and come back. But there's no time frame on this. This isn't a piece that I'm making for a client. This isn't a piece that I'm selling. This is something I did so I'd have something fun to do on stream and something neat to put on a shelf. I really love the idea that when these are done, I can put them on a shelf next to my old Matchbox trucks, and they look like they belong together. Like, that's huge for me. See, perfect wrestler name. Never would have thought you were a wrestler. Yeah, I kind of go out of my way to not come off like a wrestler when I'm not wrestling. What might not read on camera, especially this little workshop that I'm kind of crammed in here, I am 6'3", and I am 245 pounds. And if you go to my Instagram, you will see what I look like when I'm in trunks or when I'm flexing, and it's a very different world than what you're seeing here. I didn't always look like that, though, which is probably why I'm so comfortable being a nerd. I started, when I was first wrestling, I was about 300 pounds, and not a good 300 pounds. I was a bad 300 pounds. I wore it very poorly. I've often described myself as looking like a half-inflated beanbag chair, which can be fine for some people, but wasn't right for me. Then I lost a ton of weight. I went from 300 pounds down to the lightest I ever hit was about 185, which was too small. I looked kind of sick. At 6'3", 185 is pretty skinny. And then slowly started to put on some muscle after that. Really honed in on the workouts and my diet, to where now I look arguably like an athlete. Arguably. Depends on who you ask. Including me. Depends on if you're asking me, it depends on what day you ask me, because I can look at myself first thing in the morning and think I look pretty good, and then by afternoon I see myself and think I don't look so great. All the leftover trauma of a life as a chubby kid remaining with me all these years later. Now that I'm properly old, I won't say my age, but just know I'm older than you think I am. My hat is covering my hairline. That's a joke I make a lot. My hairline's actually fine. You also wouldn't know it from this stream, but I have very long hair. It's all tied back in a man bun under my hat. All part of the human monster truck persona. But yeah, I'm so psyched that so many of you have come in from over on the other stream. I've been hanging on Eric's streams for a while and Frank's streams for a while, and I love me some King Lord Brian, checking out the KLBR when he does those. That's one of my favorites. I actually will watch those streams, and I have an old TV back in my gym, and I will hook my laptop to that TV and just watch their streams during my workouts. Or at least I would. I've recently, due to things outside of my control, I've had to become a morning workout person. So when I'm working out in the morning, nobody's streaming. It's a real bummer. Yeah, hobbies and stress reliefs are important, and honestly, like, as much as these are hobbies, like, that's because I've kind of forced myself to let these be like fun. Because when I was designing the ones that had me in them, well, that's something I probably would have done on my own anyway, because it seems fun. I was doing that for merchandise, for the merch table at my wrestling shows. So it was kind of part of the job. I had timetables on it. You know, I had to have them done in time for specific shows. I had to have enough to sell, and you know, it also meant that I couldn't take my time like I'm doing with this. Like the amount of time I'm taking to chrome up this piece, I couldn't take that kind of time because it would no longer be a profitable thing to sell because I would have spent an entire evening making one, which, you know, kind of stinks. You know, you find yourself having to walk that line between, am I happy with the thing that I'm selling? Is what I'm selling something I'm proud of? And is what I'm selling something I can actually turn a profit on? And I always hated the idea that I might be shortchanging someone in the name of saving some time and getting a few more done so I could sell a few more. But I've always been mindful of that. You know, I won't put anything on my merch table that I'm not proud of. That goes for toys, that goes for shirt designs, 8x10s. Oh, hey, you know what? I was talking about that championship belt. I do have one here. I was saying I had the raised design and then I would hit it with the chrome. This one snapped, but this is a flexible filament that mostly bends. It's a little cold right now, but you can wrap it on around a toy's waist. So I did have one here. Look at that. It was right next to me. I just didn't see it. That's one of the things of having a toy workshop. There's stuff everywhere. It's everywhere. And it's so easy to not remember what you have in a given spot. All right. We're gonna continue plodding along on here. I'm trying to get as much coverage as I can. Because I am going to have to let all of this dry before I go back and get the parts that I couldn't quite get. And there's a lot I couldn't quite get. You know, on the bottom you can see all those white parts. In the middle there are areas where I can't quite get the pen in there. Now, one thing I am going to do, and I will say this, and I'm really looking forward to it, I'll do it on stream for sure. They sell refills for these liquid chrome pens, and the paint is so thin, it's actually already the right consistency for an airbrush, and a lot of people have great success airbrushing this stuff. So, at some point, I'm going to buy one of those. They're not terribly expensive. Not prohibitively expensive anyway. They're not cheap, but they're not enough for me to avoid doing it. And I'm gonna take to airbrushing some of these, which will be way faster. Yeah, right? Like what a perfect thing to have, that you have this paint that needs to go on super smooth, and it's already the consistency of airbrush paint. Like, outstanding. That's just that's the fates coming together. Oh man, this is gonna look so good when it's done. I'm so stoked. Again, I'm not sure how much it's catching on camera, just how much this looks like real chrome. Oh wow, that does look good. Never mind, it looks great on camera. Holy crap. Alright, I think I've kind of hit all the areas I can. I'm not going to bother painting the top part here because that's going to be completely enclosed inside the blazer body. But yeah, that's that for that piece. So I'm going to go ahead and hang this up. I have see, in the little camera you can kind of catch it here. I have a makeshift drying rack here that I just made with a couple pieces of wood and some rubber bands and some clamps from the Dollar Tree, because I am frugal when it comes to toy making. I don't believe in spending a lot of money on this because I don't think you have to. I'm not making a real truck. I'm not going to drive inside one of these things. So, you know, we can take it easy on the design. All right, I'm going to cap up that chrome. This thing may be shot now from that experience, but I've got 2 waters. This is a good tip. Hey, Nickabeans, hey, you made it. You missed our huge raid from Eric Badur. We got some new friends hanging out that are really getting a kick out of what we've made here. Nickabeans, I'll show you because you just arrived. For those who don't know, Nickabeans here is a super fan up in this area. She's an incredible crafter herself. I've been using the liquid chrome pen to paint one of my truck chassis. And this result is so chromy. Look at that. Can you believe that? Like, unreal how it makes all the details pop. But yeah, real happy with that. But yeah, I'm chromed out. That's right, Rye. All right, so this is a great tip for people who do craft paints. Cheap leftover jars. This one had salsa. This one had sauce in it at one point. One is my like dirty water jar, and the other is my cleaner water jar. So like this one, I have no real hope of getting the chrome paint off of this paintbrush. So I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna kind of swoosh it around a little bit. Yeah, I can see it's not really helping. And then I'm just gonna let it sit there. Just gonna let it sit there. All right. And move all these bits out of the way here. But yeah, having two jars to work from, really key. A lot of these little tricks are things that I've learned over time. You know, having all my stuff. I keep these flats here, these little cardboard flats. It's full of my paintbrushes and stuff. I keep these for individual projects, kind of stacked around the workshop. These come. I order tuna cans by the 24 pack, and they come in these. So I keep those, and I've got stacks and stacks of them I use to organize my different projects. Again, like I said, I don't think it takes a lot of money to do this stuff. If you know where to cut the corners. That said, I also live and die by these little bitty shot glass size paper cups from the Dollar Tree. These are perfect for doling out my cheap paints. And that's what we're going to do now, because I have this chassis that goes with the Bigfoot Power Wheels. And Nika Beans, I'm going to assemble this so you can see it, because you haven't been here. Let's get a view where we can really see what's happening here, because you watched me design these on Tinkercad, and you got to see how it all turned out. So this one I want to look like this guy. This Bigfoot from the 90s. And I think I'm going to stick with that dull gray. I'm going to go with the dull gray. And this body just fits kind of perfectly. Just boop. Yeah, right there. Fits right on. You can see the driver. The back is filled in like the old tonneau covers. Everything kind of fits really nicely there. And then, unlike my old designs where I printed my own axles in place inside of the design, I've bought some inexpensive bits of aluminum rod that I can just cut with wire clippers, and I printed to match these tires these little guys that are a lovely little replica. And just gonna throw one of these together real quick so we can get that visual. You can see how the whole thing comes together. I am so psyched with the end result here. And it rolls really nicely, just like a real toy. The watch streak, let's go. 25 streams, that sounds about right. I don't doubt that for an instant. All right. And now fully assembled, that's how it looks. Rolls very freely. And when we put it next to the truck that it's supposed to remind us of, that scale is dead on. Like those two, they look like they're from the same series. I'm so thrilled with that. So that said, we got to paint this so that it looks like that series. And that means sort of that dull gray for the chassis. Now, I'm not just going to do the dull gray on the chassis, because I have that chrome. Oh, Nika Beans gifting the subs. Bear Doctor getting a sub. Quiet Viking getting a sub. Oh, man, the subs are flying, people. We had a hype train earlier. This is a big stream. Thank you all for hanging out on Christmas Eve, the night of Home Alone 2, which I'll be finishing watching when we wrap up here. But yeah, I wanna, because you can see under that wheel well, you can see the little engine that I modeled in there that actually fits the body peg, right? It just felt like being Santa. Well, you did a great job. Holy cow. And so we are going to chrome that engine for sure. We want that to really stand out. The rest we're going to do gray. The tippy top of this, the back here, the tonneau cover, we'll do black so that it fits in with all this. And then we have to paint the seats and the driver here. So there's a lot of detail to cover here. So we're gonna get our money's worth on breaking out a bunch of different things. Let's see. We can start with the little fiddly stuff. We're gonna start by painting the guy and the interior. We're gonna do the smallest parts first, and then we'll end on the big part. And what I can do to hang this up to dry it is I'm actually gonna take a piece of that same rod, and when it's time, when we're about done, I'm going to put it on the rod, and then we can hang it up by the rod so that it can dry hanging in the air. Watching F1 right now. Whoa, hell yeah. We got a bunch of regulars that come into the stream that are huge race fans. And on occasion, I will watch old school monster truck stuff. We'll do a watch along here on the stream. And it's super fun. It is super fun. All right, so let's break out. I need to grab a couple of my old reliables for paintbrushes here. Some big ones, some little ones. And I think I'm probably going to grab some of the little fine tip ones. This is one of the few times that I bothered to spend a little bit of money on some nice paintbrushes. I bought some of these, and it was like $12 for a pack of 10, so they're still not that expensive. I say I spent money. I didn't spend that much money. And it's interesting because my philosophy on this stuff as a grown-up does not in any way reflect my philosophy on art supplies when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my dad, who is an incredible artist, who's a mechanical engineer, I actually, just off camera here, I've got the mobile camera, I can show it. I keep one of his old schematic drawings from a machine he designed when I was very little. This would have been a couple days after my 2nd birthday, because there is a date on the bottom of it. I keep that there. And when I was a kid, he bought the best art supplies for me and my brother. We always had the nicest everything. Pastels, nice paints, nice brushes. Everything was expensive and nice. And his theory was, if he bought us crap, and we tried to use it and it was hard and it was difficult to do, that we wouldn't stick with it. We wouldn't like it. We wouldn't keep doing it. And he wanted us to love making stuff. Clearly it worked. I mean, I'm here. All right, so we're going to mix up, because I don't have any gray paints, we're going to mix up some gray paint. And that's easy enough to do with some black. One of my aunts gifted me, she was a school teacher, gifted me all of her old teaching stuff, which included a ton of different paints and things. When she was moving. So I got some black and some white here. We're just going to mix up our own gray here. That's going to be for the main chassis. And then for the driver, I think I want him to look like a Bigfoot driver, so he's got to be blue. We're going to make him blue. We'll make the seats probably black, I think. Seats and steering wheel and the cab black. I think that'll look good. Hey, Jaime, that's right. Yeah, Aunt Beth rules. We also got a huge collection of old animal bones that she used for her science classes. So I've got a huge collection of those that I've used to do some scans where I would 3D print different skull parts for art projects, which the next time I see Nickabeans, I have some of these to gift for some art projects. Is that bat guano? Pretty much. All right. So for this, I wanna paint our little man first. I want to paint our little driver here first because he's going to be the smallest, most detail heavy, and we're going to need this little bitty brush for that. And I want him to be blue because he's a Bigfoot driver. And we gotta pick a blue that'll stand out. I think. Oh boy, tough choices. All right, we're gonna go with a standard cobalt. This is I call it Blue Man Group blue. It's when you were a little kid and you thought the color blue, that's the one. If you give him a white jacket like Rich Hoosier, oh, that would save me a little bit of painting because he's already white. I could do the stripes. They would sort of be like blue here. There was the white stripe and then blue again. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave him with the stripe. Oh, so much tiny... I blued myself. I'm afraid I blued myself prematurely on what was meant to be a dry run. Now I've got something of a mess on my hands. Nothing wrong with that. Tobias, you blowhard. It's been a while since we've gone on a Arrested Development quoting rampage here on the channel. But it happens. It happens an awful lot. All right, let's. We always got to shake this thing up pretty good. Just squeeze a bit of this out into the cup here. Doesn't take much. I squeeze out way more than I need so I can mix it up and I'll have some extra. Took the blue chew. Oh man, that's right. So here's some Perry lore. When I worked in the Bay Area, I worked for an educational nonprofit out there, and Jaime Plays, who everyone should follow. He's a great gamer. He and his wife are both great Twitch streamers. On our lunch break, Jaime and I would watch Arrested Development, or I think we watched The Office at one point. We might have done some Parks and Rec. We watched Archer, which almost got us in trouble a few times. Yeah. There's some scenes in Archer that if people walk in at the wrong time, they really don't know what you're watching. So it was a little jarring. All right, let's get started on our little man here. Start just up on the head where I'm literally just covering him with the blue on the head. I don't mind. He's got a full face mask on this helmet. He's not wearing the partial. There we go. Progress. Time I go to the dentist, they have Friends on. Wow. I don't know if I would hate that or love that, because I don't dislike the show Friends, but I don't know. At the dentist, I don't know if I'd be in the mood. You know what I mean? If I'm at the dentist, I got business to take care of. All right. And I am being very mindful of how much paint I use here, because I haven't thinned this paint down at all because I don't want it to run anywhere. It's a very, very small area that I'm painting. And if it starts running, I'm just screwed. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. But I also don't want to leave a lot of visible brush strokes, which is, that's the big danger with thick paint, is it keeps the texture that you put, that you create when you apply it. Which isn't always a bad thing, but can also be a terrible thing depending on how it plays out, and depending on the effect that you're going for. Now, I think as I'm working on this, I'm going to wait to do the engine. I'm going to leave the engine unpainted at first. And that's because I am going to hit this with a clear coat at some point. And if you clear coat over the chrome paint, it kills the chrome finish. So we can't do that. All right, so I got sort of the top half done here, so that we've set him up so he'll have his little stripe. How did I let Adam NX67 talk me into this particular way of painting this guy? It's way more difficult. And certainly not great for getting it on camera. Alright, let's get his arms going. Yeah, this is, I'm getting real detailed for something that's going to be at least partly hidden inside of the truck body, but that's okay. You know, the whole point of painting these yourself, like I could just go buy toys, but the whole point of making it myself is it's fun. You know, if I wanted simple, I would buy something that was already made. Alright, that's looking pretty solid there. Yeah, pretty promising. You can see how that stripe on the chest is starting to show up there. This process is infinitely cooler. Hey, you're telling me, I chose to live it. I redid half of my basement into a workshop for this. Yeah, this is a great idea. This was a terrible idea. No, I don't think Adam, you've ever given me a bad idea. I think when you've pitched things on stream, it's always been a good idea. Be hard pressed for me to complain. But we do have a lot of fun on stream, you know, whether it's gaming, if we're doing monster trucks in BeamNG, where I have my own custom Perry monster truck for those who are new to the channel, or if we're doing something like this, making toys, which is always a lot of fun, or doing watch-alongs of my wrestling matches. You know, I think we generally have a pretty good time here. Now, these streams I often go about 2 hours. Tonight, however, because I have to get up early and work out, and I have to go watch Home Alone 2 with my wife when I'm done, I am going to be wrapping this up in about 15 minutes, so fair warning. Jaime asks, how is Silksong going? We are hopping back into Silksong. I am still in the battle with Lace at the moment. We are hopping back into Silksong for a surprise pop-up stream, which is less of a surprise now because I'm telling you all about it, Friday. So, mark your calendars, kids. Alright, that's our little guy with his, if I get just the right angle on it here, maybe it'll focus. Come on, focus up on him. It's so hard to get the camera to focus. Let's see. Can I control it? No, of course not. Ooh, I can control how bright it is, though. I'm learning this camera as I play here. Yeah, I'm at Lace. Lace is hard, and I'm having a lot of fun because Johnny Torres, who's a regular on the stream, shout out Johnny Torres, also a great streamer, insists that I just have to fight him, just have to fight Lace without anything special. Just go in, you know, just Smash Bros style. Just go at it. I did, in fact, just blew myself, you know. Alright, so our little guy there is looking pretty good. Now, I want to make sure I don't smudge any of that while I'm working on the rest of this. So I'm going to break out my... I have a few different heat guns. This one is a sort of a craft hobby grade heat gun. It does not get that hot. And it has a cooler and hotter setting. So I go on the hotter setting, but I put some distance there. And I just kind of... This is enough to usually get this paint to flash off. That did it. That's dry. A nice thing about working with these sort of cheap craft acrylics is that you can tell when they're dry because they dry very flat, so all the shine goes away. So if this ever focuses, you'll see it's very, very dull right now. Vibrant but dull. All right, so I think next I want to break out the black, and we're gonna do the dashboard, the steering wheel, the seats, and the tonneau cover here, all black, and then the rest is going to be that sort of dull gray to match the other truck. So for that, let's see. I kind of want a semi-fine brush. This brush has been old reliable to me. It is kind of the perfect level of stiffness, perfect level of softness, just enough fine point on it. Maybe the most versatile brush that I own. All right, let's see here. Another Dollar Tree cup. These come 30 to a pack for $1.25. Hard to beat that. Shift into turbo. Wait, yeah, that's Power Rangers. No one likes you, Booster. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donna, Blitzen. That movie is so quotable. Put the cookie down. It's my cookie. Whoa, Jaime gifting the subs around. Whoa, all kinds of people landing free gift subs. Hey, Jaime is in the Christmas spirit. Oh, Doc Ryan got a sub. Hell yeah, let's go. Man, that's a lot of subs in one stream. That might be a record for me. That might be the most I've ever landed in a single stream between you and a couple of the folks in here getting their own subs, and Nicka Beans gifting a bunch of subs earlier. We are on one tonight, folks. All right. Now this old paint can be a little, no matter how much you shake it, it's not always all that good. So I come in, I buy a huge pack of these popsicle sticks. And I just really kind of whiz it around in there, and that's usually enough to make it behave. And again, often I will thin these paints down because they'll sort of fill in everything a lot nicer. But you're more liable to get streaks that way. You're more liable to sorry, shoot, I was alt-tabbed. Hey, yeah, Bear Doctor landing one. That's right. Just pumped they got a gift. Hell yeah. Well, all these subs, I may have enough gifts. This is something that's on my list. I'm going to do very soon a stream where we're going to look at this entire toy line, because I have all but one of this toy line. The one I don't have is very rare. It was a mail-away toy, only available in the UK. They don't come up that often on eBay, and there's one on there right now that I've had my eye on. With the shipping, it's around $30, which is kind of hard for me to spend on one Matchbox truck. But the way this stream's going tonight, I might have to treat myself. And when that happens, I'll be able to do the live stream showing the whole series, and it'll be the whole series. All right. So I'm just getting in here, getting some of this on the brush. I try not to go with too much of it. You can always add more. You can't. It's hard to take away. It's easy to add more. And again, I'm going to do this dashboard. I want to get the steering wheel in there. I might have to go to a finer brush because that's in between the driver. Same with the seat behind the driver, the free seat, and then the tonneau cover. I'm going to start with this this dashboard piece here. And I'm doing my best to keep this on camera. Some of this you might not see, and the camera doesn't always focus anyway, so you'll just have to take my word for it that it's looking great. This is something I, yeah, go see a Star Wars. Treat yourself. My NECA. Holy cow. It's okay, Jaime. I got what you were doing. It could be worse. You could be like one of our coworkers and you could mispronounce a name for years for no reason. It drives me nuts that that one coworker mispronounced your name the entire time we worked together when everyone in the office said it correctly. I think about that way more than I should. And here we have Perry's nails in high definition. They're not so bad. You know, they could be a lot worse. Yeah, it's my Roman Empire. That woman was my Roman Empire. I can't help but think about how horrible she was. Way more than I should. I won't even say her name out loud. That's how damaged I am. The fact that I was in my mid-30s working at that gig and being treated like a teenager just because she had two horrible sons who were about my age. So she, so much, so much, oh, I'm so angry. This is what happens, Jaime. I've been back on this coast for almost 8 years, and I'm still thinking about that. The way she would use utilize instead of use, oh my god, all the time. I was an English major. They drummed that out of us. Why couldn't she learn to be good like that? No, she had to be like, look at me, I'm using a couple extra syllables. Ugh, terrible woman. The absolute epitome of the younger half of the boomer generation and everything that's wrong with them. But that job did give me one of my favorite work trips of all time. When I had to go down to Anaheim with her and was explicitly told I wasn't allowed to work any overtime. So every day at 3 p.m., because we had to start early, I had to clock out no matter what I was doing. I had to go find her, clock out, and be done. Collaboration instead of collab. I had to clock out at 3 p.m. every day, and the place that our whole thing was at was across the street from Disneyland. So I would clock out, I would go across the street, and a friend of mine that worked at Disney would swipe me in with their guest pass, and I did Disneyland for free 2 nights in a row. It's also weird. It was weird doing Disneyland alone. Boy, that's an experience. It was fun, but it was weird. Like, I'm used to being there with my wife or with, like, friends, and it was just me. It was weird. Yeah, Valiant Vanner, I will say I have done a ton of Disneyland, as has Jaime. Jaime still lives in the area. Jaime gets to go all the time. Doesn't go enough as far as I'm concerned, but I went a lot. There was a time where I would drive down from the Bay Area where I lived. And I would wrestle on Saturday night in the LA area. And then on Sunday, as part of my payout, the promoter's younger sister worked on the Pirates ride. And she would use her guest passes to swipe whatever wrestlers rode down with me in my car into the park for the day. So part of my payout was going to the park for free every time I wrestled there, and I wrestled there every month. So not counting trips with my wife, I went to Disney 12 times a year during that era. It was amazing. Okay, Valiant Valor grew up in Hayward. So you probably know All Pro Wrestling, APW, where I was the worldwide internet champion back in 2011. I was also the Young Lions Cup winner in 2011 for All Pro Wrestling in Hayward, California. You probably also know Big Time Wrestling in California, the original home of Bailey, who's an old friend of mine. And that's a place where I trained for a long time, and I wrestled there for years. That's based in Newark, right next to you in Hayward. Yep, small world indeed. Let's see, Jaime says I went to Disneyland about a half dozen times this year. I am quickly approaching 2 years since I have been in a Disney park. And with every passing day, I am finding fewer and fewer reasons to go on. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard being far away. But we are planning to probably go at least in the fall. It'll be our, for new viewers who've not heard the stories before. I remember watching a couple kids making that video. Doctor of Hugonomics. But what the hell was I just talking about? Couldn't have been that important. I forgot already. Right. For those who are new to the stream, I was actually married in Disneyland in 2011. So my wife and I like to go back on our anniversaries. So in the fall, we'll have been married for 15 years. So it feels like we got to go back. And we got to go to the California parks for sure. So that's tentatively our plan. Let's see. It's been nearly 8 years since you've been to Disneyland. Oh, it's too long. Nickabeans, that's also been too long. So on our 10-year anniversary, we went back to the same spot and took our picture. We got married right by Snow White's wishing well, just off the side of the castle. Occasionally on stream, longtime viewers will know, I will stream a little game called Disneyland Adventures, which is a faithful one-to-one scale recreation of Disneyland. That game came out November 3rd, 2011. 4 days earlier, I was married in that park. And it is a time capsule of exactly what the park looked like when I got married. And how cool is that? Isn't that like, that's just the best. Like, what are the odds? But yeah, I'll probably be streaming that again sometime soon. Probably when I'm getting ready for that trip, actually. I'll break that out and stream it. And I also, sometime very soon, I need to stream, I have an Epcot sim. For those who are big parks nerds, I'll talk forever about this. There is a sim called Futureport 82. It's made by an independent guy, just on his own free time. He's out of Australia. And it is a one-to-one exact recreation of Epcot as it was opening day, with the exception being World Showcase. It stops before World Showcase. So it's just the Futureport part. And it's incredible. It's so highly detailed. There's full ride-throughs in it. It's amazing. And I got to stream that again sometime because it's super fun. And I haven't done it on the stream in a little while. It's been a few months since I've gone in and explored Epcot. Oh, this is coming along really nice. Getting these fine point brushes is one of the few investments I've made in painting stuff in a long time, and I do not regret it. It gives me a lot of control. And I don't consider myself to have a terribly steady hand, you know? Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Monster Truck. Well, just remember, when she married me, I was not yet a monster truck. When she and I started dating, I was a big chubby dude. And then when we got married, I was a little skinny guy. When we got married, I weighed probably 185 pounds. It was the lightest I've been as an adult. For comparison, I'm 245 currently. And when we started dating, I was about 300 pounds. It's one of my favorite stories to tell about my wife. When I lost all that weight, I showed her a picture and said, "Can you believe this? Like, wow, what a big change, huh?" And she looked at it and she went, "Oh yeah, I guess you were a fat guy." Which, on the one hand seems like very sweet. Like, oh, she liked you so much she didn't even notice. And maybe that's true. I think she just didn't pay that close attention to me. And I don't blame her. I'm a lot. I've spent my whole life around me, and it's exhausting. All right, we're looking pretty good. We got the cab all painted up. We got our driver painted. The camera's having a little bit of difficulty focusing. It almost there. That's pretty good. Not totally in focus, but it's a start. So that's pretty good. Oh, Mini Muffin gifting some tears. Oh, gifted to the Grizzly Kid. Oh man, they're gonna be psyched. The Grizz crew was actually just streaming earlier tonight. They were watching Blitzkrieg Pro, the last show of the year from 2 weeks ago, where I teamed up with my buddies Delta Force, Dante Drago and Nick Robles, and former WWE star Heath Slater in an 8-man tag. Heath was a great sport. I brought a Santa suit for him, and he dressed as Santa. Dante and Nick dressed as elves, and I came out in a Rudolph onesie and wrestled the whole match as Rudolph. I did a top rope crossbody in that match, and those who've seen me wrestle know that I don't come off the top rope very often. All right, warning on the sound. I'm breaking out the heat gun again because I got to dry the black paint I just applied here. In a world where I'm far more organized and far more money hungry, I would be linking affiliate links to the heat gun and the chrome marker and all these things that I've used on the stream, but I'm just happy to tell you about them. If you want to, if anyone out there is the type to do this kind of crafting work and you see something here that you like that I use, shoot me a message and I'll find the link for you so that you can go buy one, but very unlikely that I would bother setting up an affiliate, but I can direct you to stuff. Oh, favorite Christmas movie. Tomorrow night I'm watching my favorite Christmas movie. My favorite Christmas movie, and it's not close, which is saying something, because the two Home Alones are two of my favorite movies of all time, any genre. But my favorite Christmas movie is The Muppet Christmas Carol. It's my favorite Muppet movie. It's my favorite Christmas movie. It's got to be in my top 5 favorite movies, any genre, easily. It is just, to me, a perfect film. All right. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to snag you're getting to see how the sausage is made here. I'm taking a quick picture on the phone here so that I've got some reference shots to put up later. It's looking pretty good. Let's see, Perry even. Oh, hey, Cody Brooks is still in the chat. Cody even came. I did come out to the DMX version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and that was Torres's call. That was 100% Torres's call. Johnny Torres, for those who are new, Johnny Torres is a commentator here in New England, the voice of New England pro wrestling. Really, he's everywhere. Limitless Wrestling, Blitzkrieg Pro, Pro Wrestling Grind, Rad Pro Wrestling. He's everywhere. And he and I actually graduated wrestling training together. We had our first match on the same night. All right, how are we doing on time? I'm running over just a little bit. Oh man, Emmett Otter was a great one. Yeah, Muppet Family Christmas was a great one. The Christmas toy that was made by the Hensons was also great. Minnie Muffin says, I like Die Hard as a Christmas movie. I have a controversial take on that I've said a lot on the channel. That I don't think it's a Christmas movie, but purely because it's not about Christmas. It just takes place at Christmas time. That said, I think it's perfectly appropriate to watch at Christmas time because it takes place at Christmas time. Right? But I'm also, regular viewers will tell you, I'm one to say, you don't yuck someone else's yum. If that's your call for a Christmas movie, hell yeah, I'm glad you have one. I'm glad you have one you like. That rules. Christmas happens. Yeah, exactly. Christmas. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that could be a card. Christmas happens. All right, now I'm mixing up, trying to get that gray color here. And I'm gonna have to go a bit lighter because the gray on the bottom of these trucks is pretty light. It's gonna be the last thing I do is get the gray on here, and then we're gonna call it a stream for the night. But again, I am gonna go live on Friday to stream some Hollow Knight Silk Song. Those streams have flopped like crazy on my YouTube, but they have been an absolute delight here on Twitch. So, and I've been enjoying the game, and I tend to not prioritize that very much, but I think I should. Now let's see, how close are we getting on the color here? Let's see, we're getting pretty close. I think I need to go a little bit, maybe just a hair lighter, if I want it to really match. Again, regular viewers, Nickabeans, Rye, I'm looking at you. You will know from past experience that when it comes to matching colors, it's not exactly my biggest strength when it comes to crafting. There was, in particular, I was making some Christmas gifts for two of my wrestling friends, my two closest wrestling friends here on this coast, Rip Bison and Delmy Exo. They got married back in September. And the gift I made for them was action figures of themselves, fully painted, and a playset to look like the Pro Wrestling Grind entryway. That's the promotion that they run. And I had a mishap with some paint where I had to repaint something, and I couldn't make the color right on Delmy's skin tone. Delmy has a very delicate skin tone. It's sort of she is a Latina. And it's a very light, sort of olivey brown, very hard to recreate. Really, really hard to recreate. So wholesome and adorable. Hey, they really liked it. Oh, the Grizz Crew's raiding. Hey, they're coming in. They must have finished watching Blitzkrieg. Welcome aboard, guys. This is our second raid of the night. Big night. We've had subs popping. I know Grizzly Kid 4 got gifted a sub just a little bit earlier. So the Grizz Crew rolling in. You guys go follow Grizzly Kid 4. They stream all kinds of cool stuff. They do wrestling watch-alongs. They play awesome games. They do charity streams to raise money for things all year. Yeah, Mini Muffin. Yeah, it was difficult to get Delmy's skin tone just right. And truth be told, I have trouble getting my skin tone right on a figure. It's often too light. I kind of gave up at one point. I found a primer that's close, but it makes me look a little bit like a zombie. It's sort of it's this color here that is kind of flesh colored, but it's also like you see it next to a white there. They're very similar. This is pure white on the bottom of this. Real similar. Everybody throwing out those emotes. Man, I'm so glad that those emotes worked. I wish the monster truck ones looked better. I gotta find some better footage to make monster truck emotes. I might have to take the clips that I use there and turn them into like bit alerts and stuff so that they can be nice and big on the screen. That's something I need to spend some time doing. I've had a bunch of things that I've been meaning to do to kind of plus up the channel lately. And it's been baby steps along the way. The longtime viewers, a lot of the folks here, they know. For a long time, I didn't have backgrounds, I didn't have transitions, I didn't have multi-cameras, you couldn't see the chat in the video. We have Awesome Kong crushing a house. You're darn right I do. Darn right I do. That's actually a bit alert over on Brian Abu Chakra's channel now, because I showed him that video. And he and the stream loved it so much that he turned it into a bit alert. Thanks, Jaime. I feel like you've used that on me recently. You're doing great, sweetie. Thanks. Thanks, bud. It's wild that we stay in touch all these years after we work together. since we almost worked on nothing together. We just shared a workspace. But you know, I tell people it's like the shared trauma of having served in a war. We struggled together against similar enemies. Thanks, Mini Muffin. Greatest Christmas movie. That one time Awesome Kong stopped a gas station robbery. Yeah, trauma bonding. That's exactly right. It's an important part of any relationship. Friends, more than friends, all of them. You got a trauma bond. Okay. Now I'm going to stop here for just a second because this gray is doing the trick for me. Like this is working. If I these old Bigfoot toys, the tires come off, which I love. You get it down to the transport tires so they could go in a trailer. And if I take these off and put it next to that gray is really doing the trick. Like these are going to look like the same toy series. So happy. So happy with how this is turning out. All these 3D designs have absolutely done the trick for me. Like yeah. I have a feeling that this is going to become a big problem now that I've really refined the designs. Well, and it's not just the little transport tires on here. This old series is incredible. It's not just the little transport tires. That's not the only trick they had up their sleeve. You see these little openings on the inside rim there? That's so that you can double stack these tires. And you can run Bigfoot like he has dually tires. Look at that. So you can run 8. You know, you can run all kinds of numbers of tires on here. 8 is usually what I would do. But you can triple them up, you can quadruple them up, they can just keep going. They also had a version of this that was the monster tank. I don't have it down here, it's upstairs because I only have one. It was very hard to find. In the tank version, the treads don't move, but they have little openings where the transport tires still touch the ground, so it can roll still. So cool. So cool. At some point, I'm going to build a little downhill track down here so we can race all the different ones, and I'll have one of those YouTube channels. If you haven't seen those, they are hypnotic, where people just have little downhill tracks and they race their stupid little Hot Wheels cars. The best. The best. The best waste of time on the internet. All right. We're gonna keep plodding away here. I'm gonna get most of this covered because I need to be able to hold it still. And that means I'm gonna paint one half of it tonight, and then tomorrow after it's all cured up, I'll do the other half on my own time. A little Christmas Eve painting. I won't go live for that because there won't be much to do. Because I'm gonna try to get as much of this covered now as I can. Let's committed for the long haul to see the races in the basement. Hell yeah, yo! I can't wait because I got ideas on the track I want to set up. You know. I have some cool stuff that would make for good sets. I've got it's just off camera here. I could flip the camera around and show you. Oh, hell, I'll do it. One thing that I definitely want to use for that set, I have a old Play School Holiday Inn play set that is just super cool. It's the most mid-century modern googie architecture thing you've ever seen, and it's mostly complete. That was a Christmas gift a couple years ago from my wife, or it might have been a birthday gift. So yeah, I got plans, but we're a little ways off from that. I wanna build my own fleet. I don't want to just race the toys from other series, you know. Someone else made those. I want to race mine. Yeah, this black and gray look good next to each other. This really is coming out better than I had hoped. Which again, one of my defining traits as a human is my overwhelming enthusiasm for when something I'm making starts to work out okay. somewhere buried on my YouTube channel, I have a video I did that was, I used to do a bunch of unboxings, and it would be like unboxing all the stuff I got for Christmas and those kinds of things. And that's featured in one of those. And if I didn't have paintbrushes and stuff in my hands, I would find the link and drop it in the chat. But here we are. But yeah, I haven't done an unboxing video in a while, and I have gotten all kinds of stuff. My Ninja Turtle collection is filling out nicely. I have to build a shelf for those soon. Probably going to do that on stream. I'm going to live stream a little bit of some woodworking soon, making some toy displays. I have an idea for how I'm going to display toys down here in a way that doesn't impede on the workshop space and doesn't impede on the gym, but also keeps all the toys well protected. Which is a lot to ask. You know, that's a lot of different features that have to go into one, essentially a shelf, you know. All right. When I was a kid, my parents used to laugh about how I would just talk anyone's ear off about anything. And I'm thinking about what this stream must seem like, and how I finally found a way to leverage that. You know? It's a talent I have. I had a coworker at a job in California, not the same job with Jaime, a different job, where this one coworker, she would get so annoyed with how much I would talk that she would put me on a 10-minute timeout. Oh man, oh no, my battery's dying on my laptop. I didn't bother plugging it in because I thought I was going to do a short stream. If we cut out, we cut out. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm in the last throes of this painting anyway because I'm about to run out of space I can paint while still holding it. But thank you all for subscribing and liking and being here. If I still have a free hand when we're done, we're gonna raid Frank Howley in a minute. But if I don't make it that far, I hope to see you all again. I'll be live again on Friday, some undetermined time, playing Hollow Knight Silk Song, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And thanks all the new folks for hanging out. Thanks to all the regulars. It's been a great year, and we got a few more streams before the year's out. And thank you all for joining me so many times. Nika Beans with that crazy watch streak she shared earlier. Absolutely rules. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Follow Jaime. Check out his streams. Follow Johnny Torres, who I don't think is in the chat currently, and I don't have free hands to shout him out, but yeah, you'll find him. I believe in all of you. All right, that's about as far as we're going to get on that. So I am going to hang that up so that I can properly end the stream before that choice is taken from me. Perfect. All right. Thank you all so much for hanging out. This has been an absolute blast. I'm going to end you on a shot of the fully 3D printed truck while I bring us over and set us to go raid Frank Howley, because I know Frank's live. So once again, thank you all so much for hanging out, and I will see you all again very soon. Until then, see you all. Oh, no, it's not working. All right, hang on. Everybody hang tight for 1 sec. Please stand by. If you are still with me, we're about to raid Frank Howley. Please hang tight. I swear his streams are fun. You're going to have a great time. If my battery lasts. Is this a nail biter for everybody else? Is this as exciting for all of you as it is for me? Oh man. Let's see if I can get it done before the battery dies. It's going to be close, I can tell. It's trying. It's trying, you guys. Hang tight. Alright, I think it's happening. I think it's happening. Oh man, oh man. Nail biter extreme. Okay, it's working, it's working. We're going. Alright guys, throw up some emotes, say hi to Frank, and I will see you over there. 2, 1, and away we go.